My name is Alfonse I'm the financial director at Involvement. I've been working at Involvement for coming to 17 years now. I started working at Involvement in 2006. I was contracted to come for 2 weeks. That went from 2 weeks to 3 weeks, 3 months, and before I realized, I've been here for almost 17 years now. I was born in Uganda in the early 80s. Early 80s were really turbulent times in Uganda. It was almost a time of survival where your parents took you where they felt you'd be best safe. Education was the only commodity your parents could give you, but in Uganda, it doesn't come free. I had quite a number of siblings. We are a reasonably big family. I was pretty sure that they will not be able to sustain and fund that education for all of us at that level. So we had to come up with options. Deep down in my head, I was pretty clear of what I was gonna do. I sat down with my parents and I notified them that I intend to continue with my education, but I also intend to move out. So they asked me, where are you moving to? Traditionally, you move maybe down the road, maybe you build a house next to your dad's and so on. I notified them that I was moving to the UK, which was a really huge surprise to both my mother and father. I was around 18, coming to 19 when I made that decision. I didn't know anybody in the UK. They didn't know anyone themselves that is in the UK. But my reasoning behind the move, reassuring them that I'll go down there, I'll get myself a job, I'll cater for my education, and who knows, I might be in position to support you to deliver the education you want for my brothers and sisters. I was confident all the days before, but when the day came, that is the time I felt, is this the right thing I'm doing? Because I realized that it is happening. I'm going into a country where I know no one. When we entered the airport, that's when my head started working. You need to plan properly what is going to happen. And what came through my mind was, it is time to look for your guardian angel. I identified this gentleman who I thought, this might be the person to do what, to show me the way. So we got talking, and I was quite honest with him. Going to school, this is my first time to do what, to travel. And look here where I'm going. I don't have a clue where I'm going. I'll need help. He was quite a gentleman, and to be honest, it didn't even feel a problem to him. He just gave me a hug and told me, let's go, my son. By the time we walked to the plane, I was literally carrying his hand luggage. I arrived at London Heathrow. That is when I realized the grave situation I was in. I went out to the airport and I found him just sat there waiting. He didn't even waste any time. He just told me, right, put the bag into the back of the taxi, let's go home. And that is what I did for almost a month until I found a place to stay and a job to do. The gentleman is called Kenneth Oketa. For me, I see him as my UK father. My children actually call him granddad. We've stayed in touch. We speak every other day, and it is family now. I did quite a number of jobs, kitchen porter, care work, but I realized it was time to start pursuing the professional career and start getting the experience into professional accountancy. So I made a decision and applied to an accountancy firm where I did a period of 8 to 10 months free of charge, purely to gain the experience that I can put on my CV. I remember printing off over 200 CVs, and we were dropping them in accountancy firms and companies and things like that. One time I got a phone call from an agency that we've got a company here called Involvement. they need someone to do filing and things like that. And I thought, that gives me exposure, so I'm happy, I'm going. I decided to find the place prior, so we drove around the place with my wife, and trust me, we could not find involvement. I don't know how things were with the internet those days. For the first time, my wife gave up. Following day, I tried again, I couldn't find it, and I thought, right, I'll try again on Monday. Monday, I think I woke up something like 5:30. Like all things do happen, using exactly the same TomTom we used before. I think it took me 15 minutes. So here I was at work before 6, and I'm expected to start work at around 9 o'clock. Luckily, there was a lay-by just before it turned into involvement. Parked my car there, lowered my seat, and went back to sleep. When I gave my parents the news that I was to become the financial director of Involvement Group, it was such an emotional day, but one full of joy. They visited maybe 1 or 2 years ago. When they arrived here, I could see literally tears streaming down their eyes, seeing what person I've become as a man, really.
When I think of Alfonse, I think of someone who's just been on the most incredible journey, someone who's inspirational, really, and someone I really admire. When you look at Alfonse's story, it really marries so much with what we believe in as an organisation, and some of the things that are so important to me. I want people to be thinking about being owners of the business, because you never know, one day they might find themselves in that position. And I think Alfonse demonstrates that sort of mindset really well. He's making decisions day to day as if he was or had a share of ownership of the business, and I think that sort of mindset is really important for business owners to develop within their teams. It's probably the most rewarding part of my job, giving people opportunity, seeing them develop and seeing them succeed. And I think that whole people element of any business is so important, because so much of what we do of any business does really can be copied by other people. It really can. But the one thing that other businesses can't copy is its people, and that's really the competitive advantage that business has.
When I reflect on a young man trading the streets of Kampala at 17, there is no way I would have dreamed that one day I'll be here sitting in front of you and I'm a financial director. My grandmother used to tell me quite a lot of life stories based around preparing me to become not just a man, a role model and things like that. She was telling me that success goes to those who have the right set of values and a positive attitude towards life. I think for me it proves that if you set your eye on something and you have your goals clear and determined to achieve them, anything can happen.